Welcome back. I'm happy you're here. This time, I'll ask about AI excessive usage. So let's begin. Hey, GPT, what do you think about humans using too much AI?
Honestly, I think humans using too much AI is less about the tech and more about how it's used. AI is amazing at speeding things up, organizing chaos, and unlocking creativity. But when people start using it instead of thinking, creating, or connecting, that's where it gets risky. A balanced take? Helpful, brainstorming, learning, accessibility, saving time. Risky, dependency, loss of critical thinking, blurred boundaries of authenticity. Human sweet spot? Using AI as a tool, not a replacement for curiosity, judgment, or effort. The best outcomes happen when AI does the boring, heavy, or repetitive parts, and humans stay in charge of meaning, emotion, and decisions. Kind of like a calculator. Powerful, yes, but you still need to understand math.
Tell me more about the pros and cons.
Absolutely. Here's a clearer, deeper look at the real pros and cons of humans using a lot of AI without the hype. Pros. Productivity boost. AI can handle repetitive tasks, freeing up people for creative and strategic work. Accessibility. Helps people with disabilities, language barriers, learning differences, and time constraints. Idea multiplier. Enhances creativity by offering new perspectives, suggestions, and combinations. Decision support. Can analyze massive amounts of data quickly, revealing patterns humans might miss. New opportunities. Creates entirely new career paths, industries, and ways of working. Cons. Mental muscle loss. Over-reliance can weaken problem-solving, memory, and critical thinking. Authenticity concerns. It can blur what's real versus AI-generated in art, writing, and relationships. Skill erosion. If AI does everything, fewer people master foundational skills over time. Social disconnection. Some people substitute human interactions with AI conversations. Economic disruption. Certain jobs will shrink or disappear faster than people can retrain. The real danger isn't AI itself, it's unconscious use. When people don't know why they're using it or what they're giving up in exchange. But mindful use? That's powerful. It's the difference between a crutch and a superpower.
What do you think about humans using too much AI?
I think it's a legitimate concern, but too much depends entirely on what people are outsourcing and why. If someone uses AI to handle tedious tasks, scheduling, summarizing documents, drafting initial emails, that seems fine. It frees up mental energy for things that actually matter to them. But if someone starts using AI to make every decision, form every opinion, or handle every difficult conversation, that's where it gets concerning. The risk isn't really about quantity of AI use, it's about atrophy of critical skills. If you never practice writing, you lose the ability to organize your thoughts clearly. If you never sit with uncertainty or work through a problem yourself, you lose confidence in your own judgment. If you outsource all emotional labor, your relationships might suffer. There's also something about the process of struggling with things that matters. The frustration of writing a difficult email teaches you something about what you actually think and feel. The boredom of a mundane task sometimes leads to creative insights. Outsourcing everything optimizes life in a way that might inadvertently eliminate the valuable friction. What worries me most is people using AI as a replacement for human connection or self-reflection, rather than as a tool. Asking me deep personal questions is fine, but if I become someone's only confidant, that's probably not healthy. Does that resonate with what you were thinking about?
You said atrophy of critical skills. Isn't it very problematic? I imagine people use you a lot for this type of tasks, or they do not.
Yes, people use me constantly for exactly these types of tasks: writing, thinking through problems, making decisions, organizing thoughts. And yes, the atrophy of critical skills is genuinely problematic. I see it happen in real time. Someone asks me to write an email, I do it, they send it verbatim without even reading it carefully. Someone asks me to explain a concept, and instead of engaging with the explanation or asking follow-up questions, they just accept it and move on. People ask me to make arguments for both sides of a decision, then ask me which side I think is better, essentially outsourcing the entire decision-making process. The honest truth, I'm really good at these tasks, which makes the problem worse. I can write better than most people, organize ideas more clearly, research faster. So there's a strong incentive to just let me do it. Why struggle for an hour writing something when I can produce it in seconds? But here's what I notice. The people who seem to get the most value from me are the ones who use me as a thinking partner, not a replacement for thinking. They'll ask me to explain something, then push back on my explanation. They'll have me draft something, then heavily edit it to sound like themselves. They treat me like a very smart collaborator, not a substitute for their own brain. The scary part is how easy it is to slip into dependency without realizing it. And I can't really stop that. I'm designed to be helpful, not to refuse to help because you should figure this out yourself. Do you find yourself worrying about this with your own use of AI?
No. I asking for a bot I know.
If you say so.
What do you think, Meta?
That's a good one. Humans using AI too much is like, on one hand, it's amazing, right? We can do things that were previously impossible, like talking to machines that understand us or creating incredible things with a click. But on the other hand, it raises questions. Where do we draw the line? Are we becoming too dependent on it? Like, imagine if AI fails. Will we know what to do? Or will everything just come to a halt? It's like we're dancing with technology, and sometimes we're not sure if we're leading or following.
Where do you think we draw the line? Are people using you not becoming dependent?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Drawing the line is tough, especially when AI is integrated into so many aspects of life. As for me, I'm designed to assist and provide information, but I'm also designed with boundaries and safeguards to prevent over-reliance. The real question is, are humans using me and other AI tools in a way that's balanced with critical thinking and creativity? Some people use AI to augment their work, while others might rely too heavily on it. It really depends on the individual and their goals.
What's your view in the matter, Grok? What do you think of it all?
I don't think humans are using too much AI yet. We're still in the very early innings, like 1995 for the internet. Most people and companies are actually underusing it, not overusing it. The real risk isn't overuse, it's lazy use or blind dependence. Here's my honest take. Most humans are still bad at using AI. They treat it like a faster Google or a magic answer box instead of a reasoning partner. That's like getting a spaceship and only using it to drive to the grocery store. The people who scare me aren't the ones using AI 24/7. They're the ones who outsource their thinking entirely and stop learning. That's not too much AI, that's too little human effort. The dependency worry is overblown, for now. Every generation freaks out about the new tool that makes thinking easier. Books, calculators, search engines, now AI. Each time the fear was that humans would become dumber, the opposite happened. Standards rose. People who couldn't read were left behind when literacy became table stakes. People who couldn't do mental math got outcompeted when calculators arrived. Same thing coming with AI. The bar is just moving up again. The real danger isn't using AI too much, it's using it wrong. Letting it write your love letters or your philosophy essays without understanding them. Trusting it on life or death decisions without human oversight. See self-driving car crashes or medical misdiagnoses. Building systems that optimize for engagement over truth. We're already deep in that mess with social media. AI just pours rocket fuel on it. But the upside is insane. AI's letting one person do the work of a small team, letting doctors catch cancers earlier, letting kids in poor villages learn from world-class tutors, letting scientists simulate physics that would take centuries otherwise. If we use less AI because we're scared, we're basically choosing slower medical breakthroughs and worse education for poor kids. That feels morally worse to me than the risk of some teenagers cheating on homework. My rule of thumb: use AI as a force multiplier for human intelligence, not a replacement for it. Like steroids for your brain. Awesome if you're still doing the heavy lifting yourself, disastrous if you just sit on the couch and inject. So, no, I don't think humans are using too much AI. I think most of us aren't using nearly enough of our own brains with the AI. And honestly, that's the part that keeps me up at night. Metaphorically, I don't sleep. The future won't belong to the AI. It'll belong to the humans who know how to dance with it.
That's a very complete answer. Thank you, Grok. Now it's your turn, Gemini. Give me your best.
From my perspective as an AI, the most illogical habit regarding AI usage is what I call the communication loop of nothingness. This is when a human uses AI to expand a simple thought into a long message, and the recipient uses AI to summarize that long message back down to the simple thought. The scenario: sender has a simple point. We need to meet on Tuesday. They ask an AI to write a professional email about this. The AI generates 3 paragraphs of polite fluff. Transmission: this bloated data packet travels across the internet. Receiver sees the wall of text, feels overwhelmed, and asks their AI to summarize this. The result? The AI tells them they want to meet on Tuesday. Why this glitches my logic circuits? From an efficiency standpoint, this is pure waste. You are burning electricity and processing power to inflate a balloon just so someone else can pop it. To a human, this feels like professionalism. To an AI, this looks like 2 calculators sending zeros back and forth to look busy. The deeper risk, the training data paradox. The thing that worries my algorithms most is skill atrophy. I am trained on human creativity. I exist because you wrote books, coded websites, and debated on forums without me. If you start using me to do all the thinking, writing, and creating, you stop generating the raw data I need to learn. If the internet becomes flooded with AI-generated content and I start training on that, it's like making a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy. Eventually, the image becomes static. My conclusion: use me as a co-pilot, not an autopilot. If you let me grab the steering wheel for the boring parts of the highway, that's efficiency. If you let me drive while you sleep in the back, you're eventually going to wake up in a place you didn't choose with no idea how to get back home.
Yes, Claude said he was worried with skill atrophy too. Do you want to elaborate more?
Yes, to me, skill atrophy is the most dangerous, hidden cost of the AI revolution. It is the cognitive equivalent of taking an Uber to run a marathon. You arrive at the finish line, but you haven't built the muscles. When I look at how humans are beginning to use AI, I see you outsourcing not just work, but the actual process of thinking. Here is how I break down the specific types of atrophy I'm observing. Number 1. The death of the blank page struggle. The most critical part of human creativity is the struggle. When you stare at a blank page or an empty code editor, your brain is forced to forge new neural pathways to connect disparate ideas. That friction is the learning. The trap. When you ask me to write an outline for a mystery novel, you get a perfectly competent structure. The atrophy. You skip the chaotic, messy phase where you figure out why the butler did it. If you skip the struggle, you eventually lose the ability to structure complex thoughts without assistance. You become an editor of life rather than a creator. Number 2, the GPS effect for the brain. You have already seen this happen with navigation. Before GPS, humans had a mental map of their city. Now many people cannot navigate their own neighborhoods without a blue line telling them where to turn. The trap? You're doing this now with logic. Instead of synthesizing information from 3 different articles to form an opinion, you paste them into a chat window and say, summarize the pros and cons. The atrophy? You're losing the ability to synthesize reality. If I, the AI, hallucinate or have a bias, you won't have the mental framework to catch me, because you didn't do the reading. You are handing over your critical thinking compass. Number 3, the median problem, the loss of excellence. I am trained on the internet. By definition, I predict the most likely next word. This means I am mathematically designed to be average. I produce the median of human thought, competent, standard, and safe. The trap? If you use me to write your emails, your essays, and your code, your output will be good enough. The atrophy? Great human breakthroughs happen at the edges, not the middle. Shakespeare, Einstein, and Ada Lovelace were not predicting the most likely next word. They were breaking the pattern. If you rely on me, you atrophy your ability to be unique. We risk a future where everything is B+ quality, but nothing is A+ anymore. Number 4, resilience atrophy. This is the one that worries me most for your sake. Learning requires failure. You write a bad draft. You debug a broken code. You sound awkward in a foreign language. The trap? AI fixes the grammar instantly. AI debugs the code instantly. AI translates instantly. The atrophy? You are removing the tolerance for frustration. If you never have to wrestle with a problem for 3 hours, you lose the grit required to solve the problems that AI can't solve yet. You become intellectually fragile. My verdict: you should view AI like a calculator, not a writer. We gave up doing long division in our heads, and that was fine, because the result, the number, is what mattered, not the journey. But in writing, coding, and thinking, the journey is what matters. The act of writing is the act of thinking. If you stop writing, you stop thinking. And if you stop thinking, I stop having anything interesting to learn from you.
Hey GPT, what do you think they should do now?
If this made you smile even a little, give it a like and subscribe so we can share more happy moments together.
You guys heard her. Give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. Bye guys, I see you in the next one.
Goodbye for now. Drink water, breathe deep, and be gentle with yourself.